Yo, welcome back to another episode of Superhero Swag. I am your host, 16 the Icon, aka Mr. Superhero Swag. And today, we thought we were done with the Builder figures. Wrong. We're not done with the Builder figures. This time, we have a Builder figure that is worthy. He is worthy. He is the Executioner. Look at this comic accurate goodness in plastic form. Look at this. Look at this head sculpt, bro. Look at that. Look at that. Colors and all. Rivets. We'll get deeper into that. But yeah, I only got three pieces. I got the body, the head, and the left arm. Because Wolverine did not come with a piece. Usually they do Iron Man that way, but this time they had Iron Man and Wolverine in the wave. So one of them had to not have a piece. And I guess they chose wisely and gave Wolverine because you got World War II Wolverine, man. That's kind of dope. That's kind of dope. Now, he was actually taken from a storyline that I don't know anything about. This is when he was paired up with the Allied forces or Axis or something like that, and it was fighting alongside Captain America and Bucky. Now, that leads me into this. If they gave us this Wolverine when he was supposed to be fighting alongside Captain America and Bucky, we already have a gajillion Captain Americas, right? But when was the last time, not Winter Soldier, when was the last time we had a Bucky 6-inch action figure? Yeah, the Batman and Robin type Bucky with the domino mask, and yet that version of Winter Soldier, the younger version of Winter Soldier before they turned him into Winter Soldier, he was Bucky. We don't have a Bucky action figure, and I'm thinking that Dwight might be trying to be sneaky and kind of give us an Easter egg to this Bucky action figure in 6-inch because of this guy right here. I mean, it's still a cool idea if they don't, but why not? Why not? We need Bucky. We need that look on our shelves, man. I mean, that was his Robin. That was Captain Cap was Batman, and that was his Robin, the young, protege, whatnot, have you. Okay. All right. So these four, first in the line, Werewolf by Night, first in the line. So I can cross this off of my official handbook of the Marvel Universe. I need him on my shelf because he's in the book. I can cross this off my shelf now. Now, all they had to do, let's start with him first. All they had to do was basically do the body of the Jackal. I don't have the Jackal, or was it, it may not be Jackal. It may have been, oh, what is this guy's name? Vermin. Vermin, I think it was. Okay, so what they did, that Hasbro is the kings. They are the kings of reuse. So this is why this figure is the mismatch. At the bottom, he is pinless, double jointed. Let's see if he can do the Robo Don't Know test. Yep, kick his own ass. Double jointed knees, pinless. The whole bottom of the body is pinless, double jointed. Front facing pin for rocker on the feet. You already know how that gets down. He's got peg holes at the bottom of the feet. And I have said this before. This right here looks like we need to be able to get that Bruce Banner, because this is kind of the same. He's got one knee and then he's got the ripped pants, and we just need this in a human form so we can get a Bruce Banner action figure. I'm gonna give you that idea. We need Bruce Banner, but this is cool. He doesn't come with any accessories. This is him in werewolf form. Let's see if it. Yep, focus in on him. Bam. Okay, let's get some light on him. Boom. That is him, Werewolf by Night in it. Now me, there's not going to just be one werewolf in the universe, so I'm going to have to get more than one of these. Okay, but the detail is dope. Black paint on the feet, because the nails and everything get elongated when he transforms. He's still kind of short for a werewolf, but just to have a representation of the character, I am happy to have him on the shelf. I will have a couple of these though. He's got the hard waist swivel and the ab crunch, so you know that Mr. Superhero Swag is happy. He can look up. Oh, let's see. It popped off real quick though. That popped off real quick. He can look up, but not really that far up. But if you want him to look really far up, he can't really go that far with the. Okay, he can't go that far back. He can go further in than he can. I guess that's better though because he can crouch over. Because I hate when they give us characters that are supposed to be able to crouch and they can't. That you'll see when I get to the feral, when I get to the mini comic book wave, because I have that, and you'll see when we get to feral that they did her dirty. If you can't do this with a character like Werewolf by Night, if you can't do a crouching, look at that. If you can't do that, then what's the purpose of the figure, man? Like literally in every book that you're gonna see this character in, he's crouching. That's like having Wolverine. You see that he's posed over here crouching, right? Because pretty much in every picture you see Wolverine in, what is he doing? Is he standing up straight? Do you pose your Nightcrawler standing up straight? Exactly, because he's always crouching in every panel that you see him in, pretty much, right? Maybe one time he stood up when they fought against the Morlocks, and me and my best friend like freaked out, like he's standing up straight, like this is dope. Look at this picture, because he hardly ever does it. All right, so this character's, I mean, like I said, he's good to have on your shelf. Nice representation of the character, Werewolf by Night, comic accurate and all. Jack Russell, as in Jack Russell Terrier. Isn't that crazy? But look at this face. So if you want to do a Halloween display next year, they gave us the tools. And if you have the talent, you can make it happen because they have Vampire Storm. We got a dope ass Dracula the other day. We got a Blackheart. We got Mephisto coming. Like if you want to do some spooky shit, you can do some spooky shit. You can get Brother Voodoo. You can get Wong now. We've got Clea. We've got Doctor Strange, of course, in many different versions. You've got Morbius. Infinite possibilities. Okay, now next in line, let's go to your homie, Tony Stark. We got Tony Stark. Now this is, what did they call it again? It is the Mysterium armor. Now, this armor in the comic books is supposed to be impervious to magic, and the Mysterium is some type of alien alloy that is, listen for this one, boys and girls, stronger than adamantium. Yeah, let that sink in. That means Wolverine cannot get through this armor with his claws at all. It's not happening. Impervious to adamantium. So that's dope, right? Okay, you got an Iron Man with a different type of color scheme, and the arc reactor is looking dope and charged up and everything, right? Okay. Then they have, for his accessories, you get alternate hands, and then you get these. Let's try and mess with these. Right, you get the blast effects. Obviously, I hadn't even broke these out of the shell yet, but there's a thing with his gloves where you have to kind of work your fingernail in there. Let's see if I can get it on camera, or am I gonna need off-camera strength? Oh, there we go. Blam. And then it has a feature where now he has a laser that pops up out of the arm. And it does have a port so that you can put a blast effect in there. It does have a port. So that's dope. That's cool. I mean, Yay, that's cool. But you can tell by how my voice is sounding that I'm about to give you the what's wrong, 16? What's wrong, Mr. Superhero Swag? What is he about to say? What's going on? All right, so look, he's got both of the blast effects coming out of either gauntlet, right? You see the hole for the blast effect right there? Boom. Hole for the blast effect right there. All right, so he's got these two attachments for the gauntlet. The color scheme is dope with the gold, the red, the black, the gray. You got the gunmetal gray thrown in there for a little spice, right? Okay. All right. Let's stay on the positive for a minute. Let's stay on the positive. All right. So this does not fit. These blast effects that come with the figure are probably going to fit in the open hands, and those are still in the tray. Okay. Those are still in the tray. So you've got smaller blast effects, and we all do. I've got a box of effects. Then it does have a port hole for you to put the effect in. So we're done with his accessories and how fresh he is. So now let's get to the meat, the articulation. Boom. Here we go. Let's start off right now. Let's get right to it. Look at this. You see how my thumb is not able to move because he's not able to crouch at all? Do you see this? Look at this. Okay, so when he gets ready to fly, what's this? What's this right here? Look at that. Let me hold on. Let me bring the light over here so you can see this because I need you to see this. What is this? Is this so someone can stick their hand in his chest? Why is I'm like, what is going on here? So when he does lean back, because you know we all do action figure photography, right? Hashtag action figure photography. All right, so look, what is this for? Is this like for him, for someone to put their hand, like phase their hand through his chest? Because what is that hole right there? And then absolutely no articulation. All of your twisting is going to be in the top rocker. This is why I don't like the rocker as opposed to the hard waist swivel and the ab crunch. This is why I like it old school. Because what can you do with this dude? And if you're taking pictures, you move his chest up. Okay, so he does look like he's in a flying position. His head goes up perfectly. All right, that's fine. But then look at this hole in the diaphragm area. What is that? What are those? Like, what the hell? I'm straight. I'm straight. This is only gonna be like he's gonna stand in the Hall of Armor and look sweet, and that's about it. He's not gonna do any action scenes. He's got the boot cup in the thigh. They have it hidden in the design. He is double jointed knees, pinless. He cannot kick his own ass though, because because of the armor, which I'll give him that. That's fine. Front facing pin for rocker for the feet. Yeah, yeah, he's got that. Double jointed pinless elbows. Yep, he's got all of that. He's got all of that. But as soon as you get to his ab articulation, they basically did him like one of the females. No ab articulation at all. Like, nope. We could not spend the money on the ab articulation. We had to put it in other places. Right? So, I mean, colorway, yeah. Looking good in your Hall of Armor display. Yeah. Posing, graded on articulation. Let me see. Graded on articulation and trying to be nice would be uh, a 6. Graded on articulation and being honest, a 4. Because no ab articulation absolutely sucks. That sucks. I'm straight. I keep telling everybody this is articulated comic book art. This is we want the figures to be able to, they're action figures. If they cannot articulate, then you're losing the action and you're leaving me with just the figure. So yeah, not happy on that one. But like I said, as a Hall of Armor just standing there looking nice, he's got that all day. He's got that all day. And I needed to build a figure piece and he had it. So thumbs up. All right, moving on to Amora. Amora, the Enchantress. This was a good upgrade. The digital face print tech on the face, that's why I'm going to give you that first. It's on point. You already know because of the long hair, she cannot move her head up. You know, she can't do that. But the upgrade is there. She had a Build-A-Figure piece. She actually had the head. And so you want Executioner, and then, you know, you're going to do your thing. Now, at the top of these shoulders, though, I saw another reviewer talk about this, and this is true. I don't know why they have these little, like, gaps at the top of the elbow. It looks really, really ugly. I don't know why they chose to go with that. That was weird, but okay. But she's double jointed, pinless, all over. Very nice representation of the character as far as the paint job, as far as the digital face print tech. I mean, as far as comic book accuracy, all of it. Of course, you're going to have that issue with her standing up because she has high heels. And so she's, excuse my French, a bitch to stand up. But yeah, I'm trying to stand her up with just the one hand, and it's not happening. She was leaning on the box when we started the video, just so you know, because she is, but she's gonna have to, I'm gonna have to figure it out because I definitely want this, the new one, in the Thor series that I have in the action figure universe, as opposed to the older one, because why, right? Okay, but anyway, she will not stand up. But talking about this ab articulation, getting back to ab articulation being trash, yeah, she's got your basic female articulation, which all of your articulation is going to be in the upper diaphragm. She cannot lift her head. She can dip her head down. You can move it over to the side. If you're really creative and know what you're doing with your figures and how to pose them, you can get a couple of really good poses out of her. She's got your open, expressive hands. And in the clamshell still, she's got her closed fisted hands in case she wants to get brolic. And she has a new effect. Let's check that out. She's got a new effect, and it is, of course, green to match her outfit. And so I'm thinking that what we have to do is take the hand off. As you know, that comes off at the wrist. Or I could have probably just popped, I could have just probably popped it on there. But we're here. So then that's her using her power. And this is something different because usually they have the exact same effects for every person that uses telepathy, whatever. They use pretty much the same effects. So this is different, just like they did with the female Electro, and they started a trend with the electricity. And this is nice. This is a nice little switch up, and I can dig it. I can dig it. Thank you, Dwight. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Dan. I'm gonna still keep saying thank you, Ryan, because it's weird that he's gone. But anyway, all right. So yeah, she's pretty decent, but getting her to stand up, you could do a stand-up challenge on TikTok because, as I said, she's leaning on her box. I'm gonna have to figure that out. I'm gonna have to figure that one out. All right, last one. Save the best for last. This Wolverine figure is pretty dope. He's definitely gonna be in a scene in the Captain America series that I have going on in the action figure universe. This is all good. All of this is goodness. Just check him out. Only issues I have is, I want him to be as accurate as possible. Where is that? We all know Logan, right? You know James Howlett, right? You know this cat, right? Where is the hair on his on the front of his hands? Where's the hair? He's supposed to be like, bro, where's the hair? We should have that, but I'm not gonna trip because they do have this, which is the whole SSR symbol on the side of his jacket, which is the same symbol that Captain America wore back in that time, which of course illustrates to you that Wolverine is old as hell. He's old as hell. No wonder he's so grumpy. He's like over 300 years old though. Real talk in the comic book. But this is dope. They basically reused because I'm using the old school World War One, Two Captain America right now. These boots, the whole lower body, as far as the boots and all of that, with the knife slit and all that. That's Cap. It's the exact same thing, but the whole upper part is different because they have the jacket. Hard waist swivel. Let's do it. See, boom. Hard waist swivel and the ab crunch. Thank you. Thank you. And then look at this. The boot cut is there. Although it is, you don't want to do that too often because that's going to push off on the plastic on the knife slit. So you don't want to do that too often. But if you need it for posing, it is there. And we like it there. He doesn't have any butterfly joints. He is double jointed, pinless all the way around. So he is beautiful. It's dope. That head and that helmet with the screaming face, I almost just want to keep that on and not change it. But this cat had a lot of accessories, bro. He's got a whole nother like emo Wolverine head where he looks kind of like I don't know. It doesn't really look like Wolverine, but there's different expressions for the character. There's the knife that he needs. There's his old school gun. He's got a little satchel because he's, military. He's got a fist in hand. And then let's talk about this. This is the next thing that I am not really digging at all. Now, in the comic that I told you, I did not read this comic. I guess he had these. And for Wolverine fans, and all of us are, right? What is the problem with these claws? World War II Logan is what they have on the box, right? World War II Logan. When did Logan get adamantium claws, everybody? Hop down in the comments and I'm going to tell you after I get done complaining that these are not bone claws. Okay? All right. So, in World War II, Logan had not had the operation that gave him adamantium claws. Therefore, this figure should have had bone claws for us to enjoy. It does not. I am angry. I do not like these weird little claws that they have here with the bandage over the top. And then the claws don't even really look like Logan's signature claws. I'm not feeling this. Maybe this is, I'm going to have to go and look and see if this is because of the artwork and that's what they're doing here, because this does not make me happy. Another thing that doesn't make me happy is that I really wish, I know that, there's different art form, there's people draw them different and all that, but my favorite claws are the movie claws. That's what we call them, the movie claws, because they actually look like some claws that would come out of his hand if that were real. I do not like the curved claws because that does not look real, although that may have been how it was drawn in the book. I do not like the curved claws. I like the claws that are just the right size to fit in his forearm, like in the book. In the Marvel Handbook, they actually go into Wolverine's skeleton and show you that his claws can only be a certain length because they tuck into his forearm. And if they're as long as some of these clowns draw his claws, then they would be, I don't know, they wouldn't even be able to go in because they would go in past his elbow. Stop drawing his claws so damn long. Hello. His claws fit in his forearms. They're not big old long swords. They fit in his look in the book. They fit in his forearms. Let me stop complaining. But yeah, it's pretty decent. This is cool. I'm definitely gonna use this part. I'm not gonna use those claws. He's gonna be in scenes and just do stuff, and they're like, "How did you survive that, Logan?" And we'll just know because I'm not doing it without the bone claws. This is just a really decent figure, but with the bone claws, this would have been. You know what I mean? Yeah. All right. So 3, 4 figures. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me see. And then I have to get so that we can finish Executioner. I need Warbow, which is, you know, another figure that we did not have first time in the line. Then we have, is it Pale Rider? Phantom Rider, which is the original Ghost Rider with no horse, so I will have to find a horse. And then we have Dark Avengers Spider-Man. Once I have those 3 figures, we will, on this show, put together Executioner. But for right now, let me just show you this. Boom. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun. Yeah. Okay, so we'll do that on the show when I get the other 3 figures. Until next time, like, comment, share, get notified, and make sure you hit that little bell so that you are notified each and every time we drop new content. We got more reviews coming, and the action figure universe will be live later on, so make sure you tune in and see what chapter we are on in that as well. All right. Holler at you in the next review. You've been great. Love y'all. Peace.